All right. I just got back from church. That's why I got this fit on. But as the title of this video is probably kind of shown, is that this is kind of just a video to kind of more explain like who I am since the what's it called? Since the channel is probably like 400 by now. I'm recording this on September 8th, so by the time I post this, it'll probably be like September 11th. But that's not funny. I'm sorry. Um, but what's it called? So I just want to kind of share more about who I am, not just because I feel like you guys have to know who I am. More so like I feel like I haven't done a good job of like showing my not like a good job, but like I haven't done the best job showing my personality in some of the videos because I feel when it does come to working out, I can get more focused, and then if I have a friend there, I can get like a little bit more lighthearted, depending on who it is. And then also I feel like my background slash like who I am will also give more context into the type of training I'm doing and how suitable it is for everyone else because I feel like that transparency side of things is important for knowing like how well the training will actually. If I tell you to do a certain workout and it's not working for you, it's not necessarily something's wrong with you. It's just more so like it might just be this works for me, like, and that's just how it is. Not fitness is not cookie cutter. So now I'm gonna give a kind of an update. So in terms of like what some of the videos will look like, including like an update about making more videos like this, where I'm just kind of talking to the camera, talking about random stuff, and then also updating on like how workouts are going and all that stuff. So starting off, as you can tell, channel is Ola Lifts. I'm Ola, and I lift. Now, common question to get: how long has Ola been lifting? Well, that's a good question. Um, in terms of weightlifting, first time I stepped, I've been in the gym a couple of times for the first time. The first time I started consistently weightlifting would have to be 10th grade. So 10th grade, I took a weight training class for one semester. And I think I would do one semester on, one semester off. But then, yeah, pretty much every year until I hit my senior year, where I had weight training both semesters, I think, if I remember correctly. So, I had weight training both semesters. And then, what else? But weight training isn't also the same as like bodybuilding and also like powerlifting. So those are all different things. So I had to kind of delineate between how long have I been working out and then how long have I been like bodybuilding, lifting weights, weight training, like all that stuff. So I'd say I've been working out for a very long time. Like I was one of those weird kids that um, I think this is common. See, I wanted to talk about this a bit. So I'm also Nigerian. So I'm West African. And some people may be like, oh, West African, that's why he's so built or whatever. But I don't believe that's completely accurate, though there is some truth to the statement. And but I do believe that amongst like black people, there does tend to be just a little bit more of a culture of working out very young. Like of the people I've known, the people that I knew that were actively doing like push-ups, pull-ups, or like their dads encouraged them to do so, or it was just something that they saw like other people doing, so they tried. It's usually been like other people of color. So not to say that's the fact. That's just my own personal anecdote. But very young age, I'm talking like third grade, fourth grade, I actually remember the exact story. So my brother, one day at church, he was like, "I figured out the truth. I figured out the secret to getting very strong." And I'm like, "I want to know." And him being an older brother, he didn't want to tell me. So what I was able to do, well, not even what I was able to do. I just went around asking everyone if they knew the answer. Someone's like, "Oh, you have to pray every day." I'm like, "Yeah, but like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like actual physical strength." And they didn't know. He's like, "You got to work out." I'm like, "I don't know what that means." Like I said, I'm probably fourth, third grade at this time. So I go to my brother. I'm like, bro, I couldn't find out what it is. And he said, you have to do 100 push ups every day. So, not to say I started doing 100 push ups every day at the age of what, 8, 9, but I started like doing some push ups. And then maybe a week later, me and my older brother started doing ABRAPREX, P90X, like that kind of stuff. If you guys remember those workout videos, we would do those with each other in our like living room, just following the video, just following along, using each other's resistance for like pull-ups and all that stuff. And I remember from a very young age, my brother's been like, "Yo, look at bro's back, it's crazy." So I feel like when it comes to back, I'm genetically gifted. So when I give you back advice or you see back advice on the channel, please take it with a grain of salt because it may not be as helpful for you, especially when my advice revolves around pull-ups. And pull-ups is like a difficult exercise that a lot of people are kind of almost get gatekeeped out of because you have to have a certain amount of strength in order to do pull-ups, and then to do weighted pull-ups is a whole other thing. That's not to say though that pull-ups aren't a great exercise for building your back. And then probably most people, if they get really good at pull-ups, they have a pretty good back. So stuff like that is why I think providing context about like what I am, not what I am, but who I am and like where I'm like coming from when it comes to working out is important. So I've been working out for a very long time, um, since elementary school, and then middle school was on and off. It wasn't very consistent. I'd say in high school is when I got like consistent with it, where I was always working out, like no matter what. So like that's when I started doing like ab workouts every day. So I did like 6 minutes abs every day. So people might ask me what I do for abs. Currently, I don't do abs because I spent maybe like 8 years, not 8 years, that's too many. Maybe like 5 or 6 doing abs almost every single day. So now I don't really work abs, but also that's a part of like me not being very high body fat. So I'm able to do that. And then what else? Um, oh yeah, when did I start like weightlifting? So I'd say that weightlifting, like I said, I got into the gym, started weight training around like 10th grade. So I was just doing whatever I felt like, bicep curls. I didn't really know anything. I would just go on Athlete X, see whatever he had. Or maybe like I also followed like a lot of Chris Heria. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did mostly calisthenics. Like, of course, I started with push ups and sit ups and all that. So I did mostly calisthenics for the longest time. Even though I started incorporating the gym and like dumbbells. I never really did the compound lifts until my senior year of college. So I never benched until senior year. I never, well, I benched once before, but like consistently, I never benched until senior year. And then I never, what else? Never squatted, never like deadlift. Oh no, I deadlift. I deadlifted because deadlifting was always something that came easy to me. I learned the form and I thought it was cool. But I never benched, never squatted, and didn't do a lot of other stuff. But I learned a lot of like, what do you call them? Isolation exercises. So that's how I kind of got into weightlifting. And then throughout college, I kind of incorporate. I'm also 22, by the way. Just graduated this year. So when I talk about throughout college, it's like literally yesterday, not like years ago. So throughout college, I, at the first half of it, I was incorporating body weight and weights. I still wasn't really doing compounds. I was doing like isolation machines, and then so it'd be like the with the hammer press, but it'd be like not the barbell, but just the one at a time. And then I'd also do like even exercises that weren't necessarily for like building muscle, but more so for conditioning. Like I would do renegade rows where you're kind of in a plank and you have a dumbbell and you row it like while you're in a plank, like stuff like that. That it's not necessarily gonna build you like muscle, but like it's good conditioning for an athlete. So I'd say that's kind of where I was for the most part. I trained like an athlete, and then I trained like a hybrid between bodybuilding and calisthenics because when you train for such a long time, especially being younger, you do a lot of things wrong that affect your physique later on. So I was like kind of just trying to fill in the gaps where I could. So I remember when I started like bodybuilding, it was more so I was just hitting shoulders 3 times a week. Just trying to grow my shoulders, and that was like junior year. And I was like, I gotta hit my legs too because my legs are kind of small. I'm trying to grow my calves, so I'm hitting my legs too. But then I'd say senior year or the summer leading up to senior year is when I really started bodybuilding. I started looking into like Mike Mentzer, his high intensity workouts. So I was working out like once every like 5 or 7 days, and that was cool. Like I wanted to go to the gym when I could, and I was like doing like manual labor jobs, so it kind of worked out, and it kind of worked out fine. But I wanted to get in the gym more, get some more volume in, just get more gym time in and all that. So also like replace exercise, learn more, and that's kind of like how I'm at today. Hope that kind of made sense, but that's me in the sense of like the gym and like how I've gotten to this exact point right now. In terms of like just other random stuff about me, I mentioned before, and you can probably see it right now with all this manga in my bed. Or it's not my bed, actually. Disclaimer. My little brother's, he's moved to college now, so he's no longer here. So I'm using his room as like a storage and studio. So a bunch of manga on the bed, as you can see. Big nerd. Before I started working out, definitely had inspirations like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, all that stuff that even got me into working out in the first place. So, got a couple Switch games here. Big on gaming too. You know how it is. So, you got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards over here. Let me see if I can. There you go. But yeah. So, that's a little bit like about like who I am, and then I think throughout the video I'll probably edit it so I put in some pictures so you can like see what I look like at the different stages. But also up front, I don't have many pictures from like middle school and stuff, so most of it will be like high school and whatnot. But it'll still be like a difference because I think from high school starting out, probably weighed like 130, closed out at like 160, and then in college I put on about like another 20 pounds. So like I said, a lot of that was to give context about like where my advice kind of comes from and how it's worked for me. And it may not always be the same. Like it's hard to tell someone like do dips for your routine, but like this person can barely even do dips. They can barely do push-ups. So it's all, but luckily things like that are scalable. But also I want to talk about something else. Oh yeah, it's like an update. So so I might have to change my training up a little bit. Yesterday I went out for rugby clinics. So I was learning how to play rugby a little bit, and sadly, I kind of not injured myself, but more re-injured myself, I guess. So I probably have to take it easy on hitting legs, or probably have to not hit legs. And I think I really have to work on my lower body mobility for a while. So my leg days will probably be just a mobility day. I may still record it just to see. I know that stretching is like one of those things I've definitely neglected throughout the years, and this is the second time. Not even the second time. This is probably the third time something like this has happened, but just like not even third, more like fourth time. But the first two times it was a different injury and then a different leg. For my left leg, it was my hamstring. I had like I think they were partial tears. Like you feel like a little pop in the muscle and then it gets hurt and it starts swelling. So I think I had like two partial tears in this leg, and a part of that is like it'll tear, I'll stop, I'll like try to let it recover, it'll recover, then I'll try to do something again, and then it'll slightly tear again. I'm like, oh crap, and I'll have to be careful again. But I started hitting hamstrings hard so that that would stop happening, and it seems like hitting quads hard hasn't really helped the fact that this quad is now torn twice, once yesterday and then another time in May. But I also think that's because of my hip. I think I mentioned in a couple videos that it gets really tight. So it could really be that I really just have to work on my mobility. So instead of ignoring the signs, I'm going to try my best to do that. And I'll try to document some of that as well because longevity is important and it would suck to like not be able to run in like when I'm 40. So we'll see what I'm able to do there. I think if I just take the time and get mobile and stretch almost every day, and then have 2 dedicated days to just lower body mobility, like strengthening, almost like the stuff knees over toes does. Because my knees are fine, my ankles are fine, just my hips. So I'm gonna work on that, and then of course like make sure my muscles aren't very tight. Because like I said, if I've been working out for so long, but I haven't always been big on stretching, like ninth grade, I couldn't even touch my toes. It was that bad. But the sport I was doing, I got the ability to touch my toes, but still, that was after how long of training now. So I'm gonna try to do that. And then I think that's about it. So I don't know if you made it to the end of this video. Maybe leave like a little comment. And I think that's really about it. So I'll probably put out one of these little chats um, not once a week, but once every like rest day. So any damn resting, Also today I was supposed to like hit chest or something. Also, I'll probably post this today instead of like in a couple of days. Because today I was supposed to hit chest. I just remembered that, but I didn't because I'm still like recovering from yesterday. Yeah, I could probably go hit chest and be fine. But I want to be like super fine so I can hit chest and hit it hard. So yeah, no working out today. I take today as another rest day. So yeah, that's about it.